Vado Speedway Park in Vado, New Mexico. That's where we're at here today. Ben Shelton here with Royal Jones. And Royal, you have built a show place here in Vado, New Mexico. I want to know, how did this place come to be?
Well, as you know, I love racing, obviously. I've been racing for 40 years. Love everything about dirt track racing and all kinds of racing, but we had the El Paso track and we had the Las Cruces track. We took over I started racing in '82. And we took over the Las Cruces track in '93, and it was out on the fairgrounds, kind of run down, dilapidated out in the middle of nowhere. Same with El Paso. It was a 30, 40-year-old facility, and you just can't get the newfangled young people to come out to a place like that. That if they didn't grow up in racing, they're never going to want to. And if you're going to throw dirt all over them, it would be an ugly facility, which a lot of our tracks in the country were ugly, and we all love them. We'll go to anything, but I want to get city slickers out here. I want to get new people involved, so I thought, one track for both cities, in between El Paso and Las Cruces. This is right up against the freeway. I'm promising you, everyone in El Paso and Las Cruces knows about this place because they drive by here. That doesn't mean they're going to come. We got to make it entertaining, but at least they know it's here. And I want it to be family friendly. I want it to be friendly to the women. I got the most beautiful restrooms you've ever seen, because your wife cannot say she does not want to come here because it's got ugly restrooms.
That's fair.
I got nice concessions with good food. Got TV screens all the way around the concessions, just like a sports bar. You can watch this race while you're waiting for a cheeseburger, or any other. We have 10 or 12 other channels that we can show, you know, whatever's on. If it's NBA, if NASCAR is on at night, if it's AMA Supercross, we got it on. We had the McGregor fight on during our biggest race of the year so far, and it lasted a round and a half. So those people were so lucky they didn't pay $75.
And they got to see a great night of racing.
Right.
Well, as people look around this place on these videos that we're doing a whole series of videos from here at Vado Speedway Park as we get ready for the Wild West Shootout coming up in January 2022. They might look at some of the features of this place and go, man, I feel like maybe the grandstands or something else I've seen somewhere else. And if they think that, they think right. Talk about where a lot of these amenities came from.
Well, the grandstands, the lights, the bleacher, the cooking equipment, all the concession stuff came from Kentucky Lake Motor Speedway. I guess the freeway moved, so they had to buy them out. So I bought all their stuff for salvage, thinking, pretty good deal. I can make a racetrack out of this. Hey. that was a small amount of the cost of getting the facility, building this, making this hole. If you've been to Yuma, you know about the concrete flat walkway up here, the track down in the hole. Well, we didn't have the hole, but these bleachers were created to be on the side of a hill, so we created a hill.
Let's take a look at these. Actually, these bleachers are beautiful. Before we get to them, Will, I want to get a shot of this. As we talked about, it's down in a hole, but we have the concrete area up here. It's handicap accessible. It's dead flat coming out of the parking lot. But if you want to stand up here and you just want to have a drink and watch the races, really, you thought ahead and you put a bar in where people can sit there, drink, they can stand up, they can hang out with their buddies. And as you said, the track is recessed down so you don't miss a minute of the action. Right.
Yeah, this is one of the most popular, and I saw this at Yuma. Yuma has a wall like this behind, and people stand up there and look down. So I promise you, on a race night, this wall is full of people. You got the ones that want to sit down there. We also curve the bleachers around to match the track, so the suites curve around, the bleachers curve around, so there's really not a bad seat. You know, of course, a dirt track, you don't want to sit too low early in the night, but every view has a view of the whole track, as do the suites. The suites are very nice too. The suites each have a restroom. They've got a 60-inch TV. They're all air conditioned, heated. There's tables and chairs inside. There's 5 theater chairs inside and 5 outside on the front row. Then you got the whole top deck. You want to talk about a beautiful place to watch a race from in the summer. Those decks on top of those suites are badass. That's really something.
We're definitely going to check those out. Yeah. Now, you mentioned the layout of this place, and you told me something I didn't know that was fascinating. Before this place ever started being built, you already had in mind what orientation you wanted for the best experience for the racers and the fans. Talk about the way you laid this track out and why you did it.
Well, once I had this facility, not once I had this land, I would come down here and you got your old trusty phone, which is good for everything. And I did this at the house. My house that I built 30 years ago, I used to go with a car with a compass and lay it out which way the wind blew and all that. So I'd come down here. Well, our predominant wind is out of the southwest. Southwest is over there. So the wind, 95% of the time, sometimes on race night it tricks me, but the wind blows this way, thus making the dust and the crap and the noise go that way, out to the freeway, away from the neighbors, away from the fans. Well, then in the summertime, I would notice this one window in my house where we watch TV. Till about 7:30, I can't see the TV from the glare, so I looked at that. It was at 290 degrees. In the summertime, the sun comes out at 290 degrees, so I turned this place 25 degrees this way to get, there's still some sun here in the afternoon. Won't be as bad in the winter because the sun goes that way,
right.
The earth actually goes this way, but otherwise in the afternoon, this sun was going to be shining right on you. You couldn't get away from it. You know, we start at 7:30, but the sun doesn't go down till 8:30 in the summertime. So by turning it 25 degrees this way, get that sun off the people's eyes and off of those bleachers and back over there, sitting over there. So it's just little things like that to make the fans comfortable.
So we're about 30 minutes from El Paso. We're about 20 minutes from Las Cruces. You kind of split the difference between the two old racetracks. You also split the difference between the tracks with the new track. Talk to me about the layout of this racetrack.
Okay, well, we had, like I said, Las Cruces was a 5/16. It wasn't quite a 3/8. El Paso was a little bigger than 3/8. This track is actually, the fact that the facility is in between El Paso and Las Cruces, this track is 200 feet bigger than Las Cruces and 200 feet smaller than El Paso. So it's right in between. The track's in between, and the facility's in between, the track's in between. And it's just, I like half-mile tracks, but for the average Saturday night person, a half-mile track will break you. It's harder on your motor, it's harder on the wrecks. So this 3/8, and with that wall, the guys have all learned how to run the wall, and you know, we don't tear up many cars. You want to have big shows, but we live off of weekly shows, and your guys have to live off weekly shows. You can't be having places with wide open wrecks and, you know, tearing up motors and all that. So we have RPM rules on the weekly classes, and, you know, just rules to keep it where the guys got to be able to play.
Hey, you get out here and play too. Sometimes you got a 305 sprint car, sometimes you got the modified. I want to know, are you up on the concrete or are you down on the hub when you're out there racing?
I'm usually a bottom feeder, but that might have to do with age. But this last Saturday night, the track, it never stays on top of the track. It always has the bottom moisture, top moisture, and usually it's about equal. Like when the World of Outlaw late models were here in January of 2020, they ran everywhere. I don't know if you saw it on Dirt Vision, but they ran all over the place. But this last Saturday night, we were the last main out, and we ran right up against the fence. I started 6th or wherever, and I wound up. I actually finished 3rd, but I got 2nd because somebody got disqualified. But I'll take 2nd.
You had nothing to do with it getting thrown out, did you?
Oh no. Like I was bouncing in my car too to make sure the deck was low enough.
Obviously, we're getting ready for the Wild West Shootout. It's going to be a big event here, but you guys have a lot of racing here. Talk about some of the events that you highlight here at Vado Speedway Park.
Well, besides our weekly shows, which will end the first weekend in October, then we got to, I don't think we have anything else in October till the end. We have our fall nationals, modifieds, B-mods, stock cars, and probably legends. And that's usually a $20,000 to win on the 3rd day. The modified race, $1,500 to start. It's a really deep purse. And that'll be the last weekend or next to last weekend in October. Then in November, we got a monster truck show, early November, 2-day monster truck show, and then Thanksgiving weekend. On Thursday, of course, we eat. Friday and Saturday, we'll run 305 wings, 360 non-wings, and we're going to have our super trucks versus stock cars both Friday and Saturday. That'll be good. And historically, Thanksgiving, the weather's pretty nice here. It can get cold. We're at 4,000 feet, so if it's like right now, it's probably 90 degrees or something. Yeah. Tonight, it'll get down to 65. Well, in the wintertime, it does the same thing. It'll be nice in the daytime if it's not windy and the sun shining. When that sun goes down, get ready, you're going to get chilled. But if you live in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or whatever, those guys think it's warm when it's 30, when it's not 30 below. But okay, so then now this year we'll have your race here in January, second, third week in January. And after that, we probably will start something in March. We may do something in February, and most likely the last 2 years we've had World of Outlaw sprint cars scheduled for April. First year I didn't get the track built in time, and then of course in 21 COVID got us. They didn't release so they shut down the whole Western Swing, but we'll have some big shows.
All right, somebody's watching this and they're thinking, I'm gonna come to the Wild West Shootout, or I'm gonna come to a weekly event, I'm gonna check this place out. Put your salesman hat on. The biggest reason for racers or fans to come to Vado Speedway Park.
So you can see this place.
That's a good answer.
This is a show place. I've been to a lot of places. There's a lot of nice tracks around. I mean, Texas Motor Speedway is nice. Eldora is very nice. Eldora is very old and very nice. I've not been to Wheatland. I guess it's probably the nicest track in the world, probably. Vegas is nice, but this place was built by racer, for racers, and with the fans, and especially the wives and kids in mind. And I'm telling you, you'll like this place. You'll like the area. I know you haven't heard of it. And don't think of Vado, New Mexico. Think of El Paso, Texas. Think of Las Cruces, New Mexico. Think of White Sands Missile Range right over there. Beautiful White Sands. Just 2 hours up the road in Ruidoso or Cloudcroft. There's snow skiing, snow, mountains. Right down here you got Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. We got malls. Heck, we got strip clubs for some of you guys that are into that weird kind of stuff.
What a salesman. He laid it all out there. You come for the racetrack, you get the extended community. We got a lot of stuff coming here from Vado Speedway Park. This is Royal Jones, the mastermind behind this place, and I tell you what, he has built one awesome facility.
Thank you.